Hi, it's me, Ingrid INFP, and I'm procrastinating leaving my hotel because I'm on my period and I got a stomach flu at the same time. Probably because of a tuna sandwich that I'd let go without refrigeration for too long. Anyway, so I kind of burnt myself out through 2 intense days. Now I have 2 less intense days ahead of me. I'd planned on going to Arthur's Seat, the Great Hill, old volcano mountain thing that has the best views of Edinburgh. Today, I don't know if I can. I plan on going to Hollywood Palace, which was nearby as well. But I think I'll have to change my plans. Maybe I'll just go souvenir shopping today. I had a great 2 days. Basically, I flew directly from Sweden, and I don't recommend sleeping in Amsterdam airport. I do have to say that the Loops earbuds that I had really saved me. I had my earphones on top of my earplugs, and I had my sleeping mask, and I had little fleece blanket around me, and I basically sat and slept that way because there was no lounge seats and there was no sleeping, like there was no bench that I could sleep on. And there were a few benches, but the reason I didn't sleep on those is because I saw that there were rats. There are a lot of rats in Amsterdam airport, so I did not sleep well. Then I crashed at the hotel the next evening and slept for like 6 hours, and then slept for like 6 hours more. But I did have really intense first 2 days. The first day was in Edinburgh. I walked around, saw a lot of different things. A lot of stuff is Harry Potter themed. I mean, I'm not really into Harry Potter anymore, but you do feel that atmosphere. And then the next day I went to an Outlander bus tour. I'll talk more about these things in another video, I think, but I really enjoy the atmosphere. People here are really friendly, which is strange for me coming from Sweden and growing up in France. In France, people are rude. In Sweden, people are just awkward. So being in a place where people actually talk to you and are nice to you is a change. I know that by American standards, that is probably nothing. But for me, it's a nice change. I like my introvert bubble, but I also like feeling connection with other people. And it's sometimes hard living in an introvert country. But people are pretty funny here. I don't know. They have this dark humor, and at the same time they're extremely sweet in some ways, and in some ways extremely blunt. I kind of like it, but it's unusual. I am staying in a hotel. It's the first time that I'm staying in a hotel alone outside of Sweden. So I like doing this. There are all sorts of weird seagulls outside. Donald P just made a video about somebody was angry at seagulls. I do get angry at seagulls, but I don't harass them because they'll harass me back. So I just keep a safe distance. I've really been enjoying my time in Scotland, except for now, right, when I kind of overstimulated myself and have not been eating anything good to eat. So my plan today is just to be able to eat a vegetable, because I probably haven't gotten myself any vegetables for 2 days, or fruits. A banana. I got a banana in. I've been surviving on shortbread cookies, and they're really good, but the nutritional value of that is not great. It's also been really warm for Edinburgh, so I've been sweating a lot and not drinking enough water, so I'm going to take care of myself today, just do things slow, try not to do too much, because the thing is when I go on holiday, I'm like, let's do this and this and this and this. Well, first I think, let's not overbook myself, and so then I'm like, okay, let's not overbook, but then I go to a certain place, and then I'm like, oh, let's do this too, and let's do this, and let's do this, and then I'm like, by the end of the day, it's like, suddenly I crash, and I'm like, if I don't sit down now, this instant, I will combust, and that's kind of what happened to me yesterday at Dean's Village. Very beautiful place with a river that flows through, and it's kind of like an old town. I was kind of like, I need to sit down and I need to leave. I need to take the bus, and I get like this extreme urge to go home. But I should have gone home like before going to Dean's Village in the first place. And also I went to Calton Hill twice in the space of a day, because I went there before my bus tour and after. And also during the bus tour, you do a lot of walking. And to not lose time, you eat on the go. And that's where I ate my tuna sandwich, which had stained in the sun. So my plan today was to eat haggis. I wanted to try it out, but now my stomach is telling me no. I also wanted to go to Arthur's Seat and go to Holyrood Castle. I wanted to go to Edinburgh Castle, but you have to book the tickets like 2 days in advance, and I only have 2 days left. So I'm not going to Edinburgh Castle. This is the first time that I'm traveling while knowing that I'm probably autistic. So I'm probably ADHD, but the ADHD kind of, if you hone it in right, you can use it in a good way while traveling. It's not good if you want to leave the airport at time, but somehow the autism and ADHD kind of compensate each other, so my autism need to be there, 15 minutes early, compensates for my ADHD need to do a lot of things before it's too late, and procrastinating. So somehow it works. But the autism gives me a lot of anxiety, and so I'm really glad for my loops, and I'm really glad for that I am on my own schedule and not on anybody else's schedule. So I am allowed to just take it easy today. And I'd planned it out in this way, that I'd thought, okay, 4 days, that means I can have one off day and still do enough on the 3 other days. Good job past me for understanding that future me would have problems. But I am a little bit sad of having to stay home a little bit now, until all the stomach pain goes away. I think I'm going to get brunch or something like that, and then I'm going to go and buy souvenirs in town, because it's apparently 35 degrees Celsius in France. Well, here it's hot for Scotland at 20 5 degrees. So, or maybe 23 or 20, you know. So I had brought with me a little fleece blanket, which I am now going to trash. I'm sorry for the environment, but like I bought that fleece just to be able to sleep at the airport, and I don't have much packing, so I'm going to replace that fleece blanket with maybe a tartan or something. We'll see how that goes. I am really bad at buying souvenirs because I don't want to waste any money, and everything costs a lot of money here because the British pound. I keep thinking that it's that when the British pound is €1, but that's not at all the case. And €1 is 10 Swedish crowns. So I keep thinking like converting 10 to 1, but that's not at all the case. It's actually more like 14 to 1. So 14 crowns. So it's like I have to increase by almost half the amount the prices that I read. So everything is costing way more than I think it is, and that is stressing me out a lot. I try not to think about it because I want to enjoy this trip. But yeah, so the Scottish tour guide was, I know that some people on here sometimes get annoyed at me not having any script, but that's just the way that I talk, that's the way that I tell stories. And, this tour guide, like, that's a perfect job for somebody with ADHD right there. He just gets to blab about his favorite subject all day, and the way that he was rambling, like, I think that I was maybe the only person that was making sense of his thing, because it wasn't like in chronological order. It was like just a stream of consciousness kind of thing. I don't think that he'll be getting really good at reviews by people, but I thought that it was really entertaining. But yeah, just the stream of consciousness, and that's kind of how I am telling my story here now. But it's hard for me to explain all the things that I did in one day. So I'll have another video where I'll just talk about the things that I did. This is just an overview video. I'm staying in student accommodation, which is really nice, because during the school year, during the holidays, these rooms need to be used. So I'm glad that they can use it as a hotel. I need to go out and buy some food, and just take care of myself today. And hopefully I'll be able to do something fun while I'm at it. I also needed a little bit of time to decompress, so I could just sit down, listen to some videos, just process, because there is a lot to process. I haven't been on holiday alone for ever, and there's quite a lot that it's made me think of, you're in another mind state when you're traveling. You're in a different zone, and it made me think a lot about, a lot of times I'll get a lot of nostalgia when I go to places, because there's something that will pop up and it will remind me of something, and I realized I did have some Scottish friends growing up, and I started reminiscing about them, and I started thinking about this is something that a family member would have liked, and then I go on that route, and then, you know, your brain is making different connections. I think that's why people say that, like, traveling is so enriching, because you're just operating in a different way and thinking about new things, or maybe old things, you know? And, you know, I'll just be walking down the street and I'll be like, you know, it's weird driving on the other side of the street. Like, what about roundabouts, you know? And then roundabouts are, it's really strange for me. The driving on the other side of the road thing. It's hard for me to it's like living in a mirror of universe, you know? And things don't really seem quite real. Because also in Edinburgh, everything is Harry Potter themed, so you're like, and it's not Harry Potter themed. Harry Potter was based on Edinburgh. So it's like a fairy tale land, you know, but the real life. The Victorian buildings and the castles. And things don't seem quite to exist, but they do, you know, and you're there and like touching the old stone. And you're like, wow, you know, life can be really interesting. I think that this is just what I needed to get out of my like train of existence of like the same thing again and again, and just like going through the same motions all the time. And now I'm like, oh wow, there's so much more. Even though Scotland is very the same from, you know, the cultures I'm used to, there are differences. And, you know, there's I can see the world in many different ways, and so one of them is like, oh wow, I'm a lone satellite, just like traveling around, so like a lone bug, you know, doing my own little thing. And then there's also the me that's like, oh, connected to all these people in so many different ways. And it's just a perspective shift that I really needed, like a breath of fresh air, you know. So I'm really glad for this trip. I will be talking more about things I did. I'll make a separate video for the gory bits, because, you know, Scotland is gory. I mean, I've already told you guys about the mice in the airport, so, but, you know, I think that Scotland is known for, you know, Macbeth and spooky stories and ghost stories. So I'll have one video where I'll just talk about the spooky stuff with the Greyfriars Cemetery and the Surgeon Hall Museum, and the dark history of Edinburgh, and not Edinburgh, just Scotland in general. I don't know much about Scottish history. I have enough history to keep up with French history, and American history I don't really know much about, and I don't know much about Swedish history, so I want to get up on track on my own countries before getting up on track on the Scottish history. But I have watched the film Mary, Queen of Scots, so that's where I got all of my information from. Anyway, I'll do a separate video for those things. I'm going to try to leave my bed now and actually enjoy life in Edinburgh. Yeah, I hope that you guys have a great day. I'm posting several controversial videos lately that have been on cue, So I'll see how many followers have left by the time that I've posted this. But also, these were videos that I needed to make, and so I thought that by breaking it up with some Scotland videos, that maybe I could lighten up the mood. So yeah, have a great day, everybody. Bye.